In this video, we'll focus on how to configure JD Edwards inquiry screens and input screens to make viewing data and inputting data quicker and easier. Over the years, I've had several complaints from users about JD Edwards screens not being set up logically. They're having to tab over, mistakes are made. But it's actually very easy to configure the screen the way you as the user want it to look, to speed up your process and to set it up according to your workflow. And we're going to show you how to do that, and it is quite simple. One of the first things we want to look at is a standard inquiry screen and how we can set up data. So let's go to our shop floor management. Let's go bring up the shop floor workbench. You can see we have a couple of different tabs on here already, and these are formats that I have previously set up. And what you can do is, as you get ready for data, you can set it up to display in different formats. So you right click here in this gray area, do a right click, go to grid and sequence. And you can say in this particular case I have the start date set first. I also have the work order number set separate. These lines over here are the different items that you can choose from, and so some people might want to display it by parent work order number, some people might want to display it by priority, but there's a lot of different ways that you could actually display these things. So let's say, for example, we want to see work order number first rather than start date. So we just highlight that, click at top, and click OK. And that now changes the way the work orders display. It's going to take just a moment here to process. So you can see the lowest number of work orders up here first, higher number of work orders are down below. We can click this again, go to grid, sequence. We can change it back to start date. Click OK. And it's going to reformat it so that the work orders are displayed in a little bit differently. Now, one very important piece to remember is that after you have your data set the way you want to see it, you have to save the format. If you don't, it's going to revert back to standard JD Edwards. And to do that, just come up here, click New, give your new format a new name, and you can name it basically anything that you want. You see I already have one called Start Date, so we'll just call this one Start. It would help if I typed the right name. Click OK. You can also delete formats if you decide you no longer need it. So very easy to configure data and display it the way you want to see it. So let's close out of this and let's go to an input screen. So let's start with just a basic transfer. Open up your transfer, click Add. And you see this screen, there are no preset formats, so we're going to start from scratch here. For our particular purposes, we like item number, quantity, from location, and to location. All this other information is just extra, and it's not needed for input. So to change it, what we need to do is left click over this field, hold it, drag it, and drop. And do the same thing from location, drag and drop, to location, drag and drop, and these are the fields we need for input. We can go a step further by adding an auto return. So over the last input field, do a right click, column, and then click auto return. You can see a pink line shows up, and that shows where the auto return is going. So let's do an example, see what this thing looks like. Input branch plant 19 to branch plant 19. Come down here and let's input the part number. So one I previously looked up is D005-5C10. We're going to only do one part number, and the from location 60100, and the to location 02JA1. See, when we hit tab, it automatically goes down to the next item number, and if you have a long list of transfers to do, that makes it very convenient. Click OK. And we've got a yellow bar arrow down there, so click OK again, and the thing goes. Okay, now notice at this point I have not saved this format, so if I don't save it, it's just going to disappear on us. So let's go up here, click New, and we're going to call this one Input, because this is our standard input screen. Alright, this makes it very simple as you're displaying data or inputting data to make JD AdWords work for you. And that's what's really important, is it has to be set up according to your workflow, not some generic workflow. So take these tips, set up your screens, and see how much better JD AdWords is going to work for you. Thank you.